this fella, Steve Menzies, handle the position at standoff. I think he'll do a fine job. He's got a wonderful pair of hands. He's certainly got the experience, as we know. But will he be able to handle the pressure? Will Ben Jeffries lead him a merry dance? We'll soon find out.
Well, Steve Menzies is a former Bradford bull, and he came out of those doors with the steam coming out of his ears many times over the past 2 years. The Bradford Bulls, a first playoff appearance in 3 years, is looking a possibility now. It's attainable for a club that reached 6 grand finals in 7 years between 1999 and 2005. But with matches running out, it really is time now that there can be no errors whatsoever. Good crowd has turned up in the sunshine here and abandoned the attractions of the barbecues around this part of the world. Phil Bentham is the big match referee. And we're just about ready to go. Glorious weather, such a contrast from Easter Monday, when it was pretty pleasant actually in the south of France until kick-off time. Then all of a sudden the clouds came in, the heavens opened, and we had a shocker. Well, I'm sure it won't be this time, as Arvan gets the game in motion, and the first drive forward by the Catalan Dragons.
Be interested to see how the French outfit utilised the kicking game, especially with the sun. You can see the lengthening shadows going towards the right-hand side as your defender in the Bradford outfit. Will they kick to that left-hand corner? We'll soon find out.
Ian Henderson is another former Bradford bull who is operating at dummy half, wearing number 9. There he is, and there is the former coach of the Catalan Dragons as well, Mick Potter. It's a big day for him. That ball is dropped. It's a knock-on. I think it's Jamal Fakir who has come up with the error in the opening set of 6 for the Dragons.
Good impact, wasn't it? Really going to get right underneath into his ribs there. I think it was Andy Lynch that got underneath him. It's a vital error because we were interested to see how they'd utilise that kick into the corner. Won't get the opportunity now.
6 years ever present for the Dragons, Jamal Fakir. But Bradford happy enough to stop them 30 metres or so away from their goal line. And they're in possession now with Arvan. And this is Jason Crooks.
Well, the former Catalan coach, who's now at Bradford, Mick Potter, fully knows the, shall we say, the skill factor and the strength of this outfit. But he will have said that was a high shot.
Yes, Rainey was hauled down.
I'm just going to make the point, Eddie, is that remember when Catalan came, it was at Halifax, of course, when they took on the Huddersfield Giants. They were all at sea the opening 15 minutes, and that was a high grab, no doubt about it. Went right into the face.
Take care on that. Okay, go.
I think it was Lopini Pia, the culprit. Either way, been under a lot of pressure to the visitors.
Back on, Catalan, back on.
They are indeed. Knock on, and the penalty has taken Bradford down the other end of the field. But there's a forward pass that found Craig Kopchak. Diskin looks bemused and perplexed. There's no doubt about it.
Oh, it's a shocker.
Well, you only need to look at the wrist, don't you? It's the hands and the wrist which way they're facing. Don't bother where the ball starts and where it finishes.
I mean, he's got all the experience in the world, Matt Diskin. How many years has he been around at Leeds, and now, of course, plying his trade here at Odsal, but that was a shocker.
You're right, it's his 299th career appearance, and here's someone who's got a few more miles under the bonnet. That's Steve Menzies. Henderson at dummy half. Gets the ball away to the second row, Sebastian Ragan. Henderson again with a good scampering run down that left touchline. They're not held, so they are able to play on. And Duro spins the ball wide to Menzies. There's a hole suddenly opened up and is quickly closed there by Michael Platt.
Go. Ball square.
Duro once again gets it away to Menzies.
That went backwards, that'll be play on, and he's made the break.
It's Clint Greenshields, plays the ball to Damien Blanche. That was Duro. Fakir hangs it on again. Muniz then gets it to Menzies. It goes out wide. That was high from Arvan, but with Whitehead. The danger is stopped. Darryl Millard taking the tackle. And here's Duro trying to jink away from trouble. Oh, good hands. Off the head that was of a Bradford player, and it's going to be a goal line dropout.
Wonderful work though by the French outfit. Sweet hands, didn't bother going for the kick. Well, that's full of confidence there. They got there in the full-back, Brett Carney.
Okay, we're ready.
Just got there in time.
But it wasn't off the head either. But this is a great run from Henderson.
Certainly is, and that's the second occasion that they've utilised that short blind side. What a great kick that is.
Wonderful goal line dropout, gets to within 30 metres of the Dragons line.
I think one of the reasons why so many neutrals enjoy watching the Catalan Dragons is the attacking philosophy they have. They're prepared to promote the ball. There's a nice little offload back out. Oh, the referee says it's a knock-on.
It is by Henderson.
But they will entertain, Eddie. They will certainly entertain. The ball is moved across the field and kept alive.
And they're playing in almost Catalan national colours today of yellow, red and white.
Well, I'm not so sure to release that, but Phil Bentham is the man in charge. Or maybe on that show that he did just a little bit of a tickle there, Ian Henderson.
Oh, and Arban has lost it now. And the referee will bring them back for the first knock-on by Arban.
Went back off Bradford. It's Catalan knock on.
Oh, he's going to say that it's head and feet to Bradford.
I think it's the right decision. Watch again here. The first one, the ball's clearly gone backwards, hasn't it? There's no knock-on from Bradford.
Duro thought he was away, but Phil Bentham had other ideas, brings them back and gives head and feed to the Bradford Bulls.
Well, it's a nervous side. Oh, and he's knocked on right at the scrum base. I was just going to say it's nerves on both sides, and that shows you.
Well, the handling errors that we're seeing in the opening 5.5 minutes here, if we were in Perpignan and it was Easter Monday and it was tipping down out of the skies, you could understand it.
Well, I'll say it's hot and the hands are sweaty, but
hot and clammy.
Oh, that is a big mistake though at the foot of the base of the scrum.
Ferriol drives it in, and they know the Bradford Bulls. They will have to be vigorous in defence to halt this massive French pack. Fakir is one of them. The ball is stolen.
Yeah. Seen quite clearly there by Phil Bentham. Kopchak, his arm underneath.
We might get a few penalties in this game. Only the Crusaders have conceded more than these two teams so far, so I think converting chances, kicking to touch as the Catalan Dragons have done, converting your chances is the key to success tonight.
And Ferriol drives it into the 10-metre zone for the Catalan Dragons. Henderson gets the ball away. Decent run, I think that's Gregory Muniz. There will be one or two moments of indecision in the commentary tonight, I think, because the Catalan Dragon numbers, quite frankly, are disgraceful. But never mind, this is Green Shields, we know him, and that's a poor pass, and it's picked up by Whitehead.
Well, that should be a penalty. He had a second go at it. Referee shouted, move away, don't interfere. They did. Well, it's a nervous start, as we mentioned, for both sides. Trent Robinson, the Catalan coach, realises they've had a couple of good opportunities thrown away. Mick Potter. Remember the knock-on at the scrum base. Settle down, fellas.
We've had a couple of penalties. We've had handling errors on both sides. We've had knock-ons, of course. And here's another penalty for an offside. It's not been the most rip-roaring start to a Super League match we've seen, Brian.
No, I think you're right. You addressed it at the start. There's a little bit of nerves. The conditions are perfect to play rugby league, but I think both sides are just settling into it. Phil mentioned the spread that the Catalan put on the ball and the willingness to keep it alive, and he's exactly right. They've been very entertaining. But look, don't forget what they got with Fakir, Lopini Peya and David Ferriol. Three big guys that are very, very difficult to stop, and there's sometimes no substitute in this game for raw power.
Raw power on show there from Patrick Arban. Ben Jeffries was the dummy half. He gets the ball away. That's a great offload. Jeffries had his back to the play, actually. It was a good job that Arban was alert. Diskin has shot in to dummy half. They're 5 metres away from the line in that far corner. And here is Mark Herbert. Pops the ball up then for Bryn Hargreaves. Hargreaves nearly went without it. Hangs on with the ball round his midriff. Diskin wants to get on with it quickly. Fires the pass to Herbert. That's a good ball to Elima. And Oliver against his former club. He got a try in this game last year for the Dragons. For the Dragons in this fixture in the 24-22 win. 2 tries against Leeds last week. And Oliver Elima is in a fantastic vein of form at the moment. And the first time really that Bradford threatened the Catalan Dragons line, Elima found a way to get through the defence and plonk the ball over the line.
Just a little short pass, but the big fella went through some feeble defence. And as Eddie has already mentioned, the first opportunity that the Bulls have had, they've taken full control of it. It was a flat pass, and look how he uses the weight. Sheer pressure, bang, get out of the way. He's a big guy, big unit, and the handoff, watch this, boom. That's a great finish.
19 times a French international, the 28-year-old. It is his 4th Super League club, the Bradford Bulls. And just now, Olivier Elema in great form. 2 tries in the victory against Leeds last week. And Patrick Arvan's goal kicking was vital in that match at Headingley as well. And here he is with the first opportunity to score from a kick. This to add the extras. He's played and scored in every game he's played in this year, Patrick Arvan, and he maintains that great record, and the Bradford Bulls are ahead by 6 points to 0.
You hear a lot of coaches encouraging the ball players to play at the defensive line as close as they possibly can, and the chance here for Olivier Elema is created by Marker, but look how he runs the defence. He passes at the last second, and Peyer, by the time he switches focus from the ball carrier to the ball receiver, Elema's almost through the gap and over the try line.
Well, that's a huge kick-off. It's a massive kick-off from Dureau. Underneath it was Herbert. It's a good chase from the kick-off too.
Took it well as well. There's the sun right into his face there. And that was just your reward, you know, for the big fella, the centre, Patrick Arvan, to add the extra 2 points to that try from Elema. And they got him for offside. Quick play the ball.
He caused a lot of trouble in that Easter weekend. Gareth Rayner running from dummy half and getting a quick play of the ball. He's won a penalty for a high shot early on in this game, and his efforts to get off the ball and put his foot and roll it back, too quick for Fakir. Well-deserved penalty for Bradford Bulls.
Yes, Diskin, he's been around the block a few times as well. He knows what he's doing in situations like that. He invited the tackle from the man who's not standing square.
It was poor play by the loose forward, Gregory Muniz, as well. He made no attempt to get behind into the second marker square. Well, it's a golden opportunity now for Bradford to really put them back on the rack yet again.
This is Kopchak. He plays the ball to Diskin. Diskin then finds Ben Jeffries. Arvan.
Oh, it's got to be a penalty.
Yes, it is. The referee shouted held, and Arvan thought he wasn't held, so carried on with the run. And so it's a penalty, and a relieving penalty to the Catalan Dragons at that.
It's always difficult. It's such a big man, but you can see the ball carrying arm. Or did it touch the deck? Well, yeah, that's...
was anybody in contact with him when he hit the ground? That's the thing, not whether he hits the ground or not.
Well, that was the version of events as far as Phil Bentham is concerned.
Hold!
Yeah, the ball carrying arm did hit the deck on that different angle. It's amazing what television cameras can do. It certainly helps.
Stand. Goal 2.
Henderson. Ball goes infield.
3.
Diskin felt that. There was a hand in his face then as Ferriol came forward. Dureau taking them on himself.
4. Move.
Shaky start from Scott Dureau, but he is one of the form players in Super League at the moment. Lynch gets it away to that man Dureau. He then pops it up to Lapini Peyer.
Yeah, he was always going to give a penalty there. Not standing square at the play of the ball. And that's good refereeing there by Phil Bentham to allow the advantage. They could have gone on to score. But I'm just a little bit worried in regards to where this Catalan outfit, that they're looking fancy, but really some good hard work might pay better dividends.
Here comes Menzies. 6-0 Bradford lead. Catalan Dragons looking to get things sorted out. It was David Ferriol on the charge, actually. The ball is lost again. Patrick Arvan. It's been a very scrappy, very, very scrappy opening to this match. I think it's head and feet here to the Dragons. It is.
Home crowd don't like it, but I think the official has got it spot on. You'll see the hand going through there, and I think it's second row Whitehead. Did he grab the arm or did he grab the ball? He said
he made a play
contact.
for the ball.
Yeah. Difficult for the official.
Knock on. Heads in. Yep.
Well, settle down. That's got to be the word from Trent Robinson, the Catalan coach.
Menzies now. A great run from the fullback, Greenshields, who was in the corner. Clint Greenshields. He had a good bit of pace there to get round the defenders. 60th try for the Dragons last week against Castleford. And Trent Robinson passing the information down to his runner on the sideline. It will then get to the players. He got a try in the Dragons' first ever win at Odsal, 29-22 in 2007, and another one here now.
Well, this is Whitehead. Definitely touched the ball, got the opposition. And you can't afford to allow Greenshields any opportunity to come. It was a neat little pass. See how it comes round on the angle. Throws the dummy. He should have been spotted. Should have been taken out. Just a little bit hesitant there. You can see how Platt's hanging back. So is Herbert. Throws the dummy. He has the pace. That's a great finish.
Great try from Clint Greenshields. 2 caps for the French. 6th try of 2011. And here is the goal kicker, Scott Durow, proving an outstanding overseas signing. Trying his last 2. And Durow has just sliced that the wrong side of the post. But the Dragons are on the board. That's the important thing. 6-4 Bradford.
Yeah, they certainly will be because of the bit shaky start.
Yeah, not much wrong with the way Bradford numbered off in defence. Mark Herbert just beaten for pace by Clint Greenshields. He'd be disappointed with that. As I said, they numbered up well. Showed Greenshields the outside, and he's just too quick. I don't think he'll make that mistake again.
So do you think then defensively, if you know that that's what Catalan and Clint Greenshield like to do for the last 3 or 4 years, stand on the outside and force him back inside?
It's certainly an option, Phil, you're right. It's you will open up your outside shoulder.
Well, Lafini Paya just allowed that, along with all his colleagues. He allowed it to bounce, and you see what happens when that happens. 20 metres in from touch it was, I think that, and boom, away it goes.
Well, it was a fullback's ball. Greenshields should have anticipated it, should move towards it. Didn't. Comedy of errors at the moment.
It is. It's an untidy opening quarter of an hour that we've watched. Diskin to Herbert, and here is Andy Lynch, the Bradford skipper. Does that all day for his club. Gets them underneath the opposition posts with a good run. Great chance here then. And that's Craig Kopjak. And he is halted just short of the line. Diskin is waiting again, viewing the options, fires the pass to Herbert. He in turn gives it to Jeffries. Short ball to Michael Platt. And Platt is tackled just short. That's 4 tackles gone. There's a try scorer, Elima, untidily. And again untidily, and knock on by Jeffries, but the referee says play on because the Dragons have got it back in the shape of Henderson.
Well, the Bulls, they were threatening. It was a wonderful tackle by Jean-Philippe Bale that stopped them in that right-hand corner, but this is just shocking. Come on, fellas, we can do better than this, both sides.
Stand square, goal 2.
Ben Jeffries back at Bradford from Wakefield. It's his second spell. 8th appearance in a row since he rejoined them, Ben Jeffries, but won't want to see that moment again.
Well, to be fair, it was a smart move by Mick Potter because since Jeffries arrived, it's no coincidence that they've started to play a lot better. That's a great kick.
It is. It's a 40-20 attempt. It's a 40-20 attempt, and he has got it.
Wonderful.
That's a tremendous kick. What a kick from Scott Durow this is.
Well, you can tell how good it was. It was silence from the crowd, and they knew it.
Well, there's special plays in the game, and that's one of them. That's huge kick. That'll help them out now. They're under a little bit of pressure. Now straight away the pressure's turned and Bradford Bulls have to defend their own line. They looked shaky off the scrum the last time. We'll see if Catalan can repeat that feat.
And I've just had a little look at the flags, Eddie. I mean, it's not as though it's a very strong win. There is an advantage, but not much. Oh, is it amazing?
It's a slight breeze for Odsal. It's not blowing a hoolie today.
Move! Line,
remember the day.
Henderson. Short ball, and Bradford having to muscle up in defence.
On the line.
Henderson waits again, untidy play the ball. This is Jean-Philippe Bale. Big strong lad in the centre is Jean-Philippe. 13th start in a row in that position.
Menzies wanting it out wide. Will he get it? No, they've gone for the dummy.
Blanche it is. In tremendous form. Looking for the 90th try of his British/European career, Damien Blanche. Here's Durow, the man who started it all. Gregory Muniz, short ball from him.
5, move!
Kopjak gets an important tackle in on Jamal Fakir. Henderson to Giroud. Giroud stabs the kick in behind them. Well, he was hunting it, wasn't he, Lapini Paya?
They're very heavily reliant on Scott Duro, aren't they, in attacking situations. It's almost too predictable. If they're in the centre of the field, the ball is 9 times out of 10 going to go into Duro's hands, and maybe if they want to win this game, and certainly I think impress in the playoffs, they perhaps need to find more balance and better options in that attacking scenario.
You're right, so much goes through him, Phil, and he was very rushed in those last couple of decisions he made. He decided to come back down the short side twice when their winger Damien Blanche was caught infield.
Wait, go.
The ball goes back to Mark Herbert. Can he get a decent kick away? Well, he does. He gets the length, but straight to Greenshields.
Eddie, last week against Leeds, he made 2 40-20 kicks in one game. I mean, they're pretty rare as it is. Mark Herbert is another excellent kicker, and I think at this time of the year, Eddie, the pitch is getting harder and firmer. That ball bounces and rolls on quicker. It assists kickers who can put it into the accurate positions.
Menzies from dummy half gets the ball away. Hargreaves working hard in defence, as was Diskin, to halt the run of Ferriol. Peer again.
Move! Hold, go.
Henderson, infield to Duro. Muniz takes the responsibility himself, goes up the middle, gets the tackle though.
Got to get some height on this kick.
And he does. Duro, it's off the outside of the boot. Oh, and Carney was, well, he was barreled as he took that ball by Jamal Fakir. He looks up and says, where does that bus come from? But a brilliant take from Brett Carney under this sort of pressure.
Was he ever?
Not so sure that Fakir actually went for the ball then, more for the man.
Well, it certainly looked a penalty, but it was waved away by Phil Bentham. But smart work there by the fullback. Been a big influence since he arrived here at Bradford.
Yes, he's signed a new 2-year deal this week.
To knock on. That's good defence. Henderson underneath, and Narvan could not keep hold of it.
It's a real backslam, isn't it, onto the surface. The ball jumps free. Casty as well. Good work, wasn't it? Great technique. They had him in full control. Slammed him on the ground, and again they'll start another set within sight of the Bradford try line. They need, I think, though, to convert more of these chances. They might not get this amount of field position for the rest of the game, so close to Bradford's line. You
referenced the bravery of Brett Carney. It means so much to a team to turn around, see a bomb go up, and see their fullback, and he's only slide, jump and take that ball under tremendous pressure. You need bravery in a fullback, Eddie. We don't always see it.
You're right, and you do see it in abundance with Carney. This is the 9th scrum that we've had in the opening 20 minutes of this game. It shows you how many errors there have been in the match. And there was another, but Jean-Philippe Bale has picked it up and skipped through a few challenges and gets the ball away, and there's a missed tackle. Lynch, another missed tackle from him. That was on Darryl Millard. Eventually they get him down, the Fijian international.
You know, it was great
run again.
Great work by the centre Bale. Such a powerhouse. Now can they get it over on the right-hand side? It's a long pass, not the best, but they get away with it.
Payer again, Greenshields, Bale takes on the defence. I think it was Mark Herbert who got to him. It was, with help from Michael Platt, he's put down. Oh.
Do you know, Eddie, I think it's about time we start to credit Bradford's defence. Last week against Leeds, they were excellent on their own try line. Again, they've had to spend a lot of time in the opening quarter down at this end of the field, but they're getting off quickly. They're up and into the faces of the Catalan Dragons. There are no gaps, no spaces for the Dragons to be enticed into. And Casti, it's a high pass, takes his eye off the ball.
Yeah, you could see he was looking at the defence coming at him there, Phil. But I just get the impression that both sides realise it's very warm out there, that energy will be sapping away. I think they're trying to save each other and say, can they get through to half-time?
Sean McRae was here. He'd be calling this a knock-on-a-thon. We've had 10 handling errors, 5 each side, and there's number 11.
Well, to be fair, it looked, and most of the Bradford side thought that the tackle had been completed, but the winger decided he wanted to offload. Ball carrying arm had not hit the deck, and it wasn't easy for Andy Lynch. And under more pressure.
Actually, it's not a bad offload, to be fair, if they were waiting for it.
Yeah, but they weren't.
Well, you can't blame Rayner for that. Menzies now. No, he didn't blame Gareth Rayner for that. He blamed the others for not realising what was going on. He is Jamal Fakir. 10 metres away. Coming in centre field with Muniz. Carney bounced off him. Having to scramble Bradford. They're desperately defending their line. Henderson. Duro. Menzies. Menzies, back it comes. Good ball. Damien Blanche is in. Damien Blanche, that's the 90th try for him in his British or European rugby league career. Tries in 4 in a row now. And Trent Robinson, a most meticulous planner, and he will be delighted with what he's just seen from Damien Blanche. Probably one of the most underrated finishers in Super League, this fellow. 13 tries now for the season. An Irish international with a big Australian accent. But he knows where the whitewash is.
Certainly does, the knock on. You can see the offload there by Rayner. No one in attendance, and it was the prop forward Lynch made the effort. And watch the quality here from the old-timer. Steve Menzies. What a beautiful pass. And the fullback says, there you are, Mr. Blanche. Take the try. Spoke to a few fans a couple of weeks ago, and they said, well, we don't rate Blanche. All he does is score tries. Come on. Get a life. That's what he's paid to do, and that's what he does.
That's what all wingers do, don't they, Brian?
I wish I scored as many as he did. No, he's a great finisher. We've seen him on Sky now complete a few. He scored a great try. I think they went through 10 hands last week for the Catalan Dragons.
Well, Giroud hasn't brought his kicking boots with him at the moment from Perpignan. But the Dragons are ahead, 8-6.
It's not his side, is he? He likes to be on that left-hand side. It's a sweeping round with the leg. Not that I was a goal kicker of, never mind any note, no note. But this was a good play, combination. You were wondering, Eddie, whether, you know, Steve Menzies to settle into the standoff position, but on that occasion, he swept out into his normal position, and that's out wide in the centres.
It was the subtlety of Steve Menzies' play, the way he straightened the ball up, attracted the Bradford defence. It was a class act. Everything he does is class.
The one thing, though, that Catalan Dragons try to do is bully their opposition up front, don't they? They are very vigorous.
Oh, they're a big outfit, don't worry, and they're very fit, you know. It took them a while to sort of get going. A lot of people suggesting perhaps the pressure was on Trent Robinson, but he said stick with it. That should be back to 6.
He hasn't wiped the tackle count down yet, Phil Bentham, and still hasn't. Continues on.
Well, it went backwards. Certainly a grab of the arm. That's a move that's coming into Super League. Quite a lot of clubs do it now. Grab it. I think we saw it last night. Remember Sam Tompkins on
Danny Maguire.
Danny Maguire, it was, yes. There's another knock on.
Sebastian Martins is just on the field.
You know, it's a gamble here by Bradford, isn't it? On the last tackle to put pressure on Scott Duro. You're really putting people under pressure now. Sebastian Martins couldn't take the ball. Had he taken the pass, the Bradford defence was under intense pressure really, with big gaps in it.
Nick Scruton's put on his backside by the tackle from Henderson. Just back in the Super League, Nick Scruton came back from 12 out with the wrist injury for the defeat to Hull, and he was a sub last week as well at Leeds. Kopjak.
Shocker.
Well, Phil, I take your point about let's give credit to defences for putting pressure, but I mean this is just well, there's a lot of them, you know. It's just getting frustrating for everybody.
What he tried to do there, though, Ed, he created the first try for Oliver Elmer, didn't he? He delayed the pass, waited till the attacker was almost a metre or less than the defender, and tried to put the ball in his hands, but the pass wasn't good enough, and neither was the catch.
Yeah, the idea was right, the execution was well off.
I think that if we were kind, should we say scrappy, and leave it at that?
Yeah, it has been a scrappy game. You're right so far. There's no two ways. You can't hide from that. There's been errors, uncharacteristic errors as well. But I think once they settle into this team, we've got two good sides out here, and we should see a bit better rugby league.
It's a good drive forward by Remy Casti. Quick play the ball, Henderson. Oh, pinched interception. Here goes Ben Jeffries. Now then.
He hasn't got the legs, but he'll try to go around, and that's a beautiful tackle.
Oh, and he's in touch as well. That's Steve Menzies.
Tremendous effort. from the old man of Super League. Well, we know that Ben Jeffries is not the fastest man in our game, but he put himself in a wonderful position, trying to keep the old-timer in and out, shake it all about over the whitewash.
I won't give not square anything.
Wonderful effort. Look at him go.
When does he decide he should come back on the inside? He must have been confident of taking him. He's had plenty of time to step back inside there and just play the ball on the 30.
Heads in.
Well, I suppose when anybody in Super League, they make the break and they say, well, there's only a 37-year-old coming across for me. I can beat him. He didn't.
You're right, Jeffrey's not the quickest, but Menzies, he certainly put his foot to the floor.
You know what, Eddie? It might not have been the best 28 minutes we've seen so far, but I'd certainly stick with this because I think we're in for a tense and dramatic finale. You know, the last time they met, it was an 8-all draw. Going back almost 12 months, there was only 2 points separated these sides when they played here last season. I think whatever happens, it's going to get very close and exciting in the second 40. This is just maybe the entree is not too good.
Well, I think we saw a statistic saying about the number of tackles that the teams had put in, and the Dragons have put in half as many as Bradford so far. There it is, look at it, 103 that Bradford have put in, 47, that's all for the Catalan Dragons.
And it shows you the superiority as well at field position, which the Catalans have had. They've given away a silly penalty now. All that hard work. Wasn't the best kick, you know, for Ian Henderson, but made up for it with a very strong tackle afterwards. Just a mess, isn't it?
He does fight, though. I know I've mentioned it before. Gareth Rayner fights to get off the ground more than most. And it highlights anybody that decides to lie on and try and steal a few extra seconds in the tackle. Somebody like Gareth Rayner fighting to play the ball will expose that to the referee. There's every chance he'll get a penalty.
It's Nick Scruton now for the Bulls. Diskin's in at dummy half. No Heath Lestrange either for Bradford at the moment. He's out injured, so Diskin's probably going to have to do the majority of the 80 minutes in this role. There's Jeffries.
Capable of doing that is a smart player, as we've seen over the years, especially at squeezing the penalty. There he goes.
Mark Herbert now. He showed it to Ellimer and hung on. Ellimer then in quickly at dummy half, down the short side. Oh, and Blanche, he went for that. He went for the interception. He could see there was no one at home. 70 metres away, the try line was beckoning him.
This is a huge gamble by Blanche. It was a try for Rayner all the way, and he knows it.
Well, you know what? I think it was a huge gamble for Oliver Elliman to go down that short side. I don't think this was on. I mean, there's 3 defenders there. I think it was going to be a very, very good ball that got to Gareth Rayner. They're lucky that Damien Blanche hadn't got his hands on right way around that time.
Well, here's an opportunity for the Bulls now. Duro with the tackle on Platt. Diskin a great run. He's inviting the penalty from Phil Bentham. And Phil Bentham will give the penalty for that. And again he spotted them not standing square, and he just ran straight at the man who was out of line.
And this is the value of having a man of Matt Diskin's quality. He knew exactly where to go, made sure he made contact.
So here they come again, Bradford. Lynch gets the ball away, only just, and that's Donaldson.
Good work as well. Looking for the offload as well was James Donaldson.
Jeffries, Carney. Scrambling defence now on show from the Catalan Dragons. Arban pointing the way. He pointed at Herbert, says, you're getting this. He got it. This is Scruton. Nick Scruton looking to offload. Oh, that's dangerous. Under all that pressure, he held onto it somehow. Now Diskin gets the ball away short, and Lynch is picked up and dumped to the ground. Diskin again. Back it comes to Jeffries. Here's Ellimer again, that short run. Oh, and then Ellimer just released the ball over his head. It went forward. Greenshields picked it up. Didn't get over the advantage line. The referee put the scrum down.
Well, we were somewhat critical last night, Eddie, in regards to the men with the whistle. I must say that Phil Bentham really has had a fine game. And in fact, apart from that wonderful tackle by the experienced Steve Menzies, I think it's been the highlight of the first half.
8-6, the Catalan Dragons are ahead. You know, they are the only team in the top 8 without the distraction of the Challenge Cup. So
Okay, lads.
the Dragons will fancy their chances of finishing in the top 4 for only the second time in their history. There's no distractions for them.
And they've been building all year. We saw both these sides in the Millennium Magic weekend. Bradford were, I think, unlucky to lose to Leeds Rhinos on that occasion, but the Catalan Dragons look so disjointed in the game against the Harlequins. Well, there's been such a transformation at that club. They've been very, very exciting to watch. They've been very, very good defensively in the last 10 or 12 games. And Trent Robinson seems to have really got his team playing the way he wants them now.
That's right, 5 defeats in the opening 7. They only won 6 all last year. And Trent Robinson, who's been across the path in the NRL, taking the Roosters from bottom to the grand final in 12 months under the tutelage, of course, of Brian Smith. And, well, it could happen again.
Well, this is the little jack in the box that he's brought off the bench. Policia, number 26 there, really does come on here. 8 minutes to half-time, and he'll be asked by his coach, get out there, cause some havoc, and run whenever you possibly can. Another attempted 40-20 kick.
It was. It just didn't quite have the legs this time.
Mighty kick, and what about the chase? That's superb. No less than 8 players in the Catalans' colours went down really out up for it.
Well, Matt Diskin has been withdrawn by Mick Potter.
Hold, lads, go to.
That's a surprise. Danny Addy is the young man who's come on the field in his place.
Wait,
He's a scrum half. Usually, the scrum half against the Crusaders in February. Here comes Ellimer again. Gets the ball away. He's in touch, is Danny Addy. First involvement in the match, and he's bundled over the line.
And
They're
again,
a big bunch, the Dragons, aren't they?
certainly are, and Jean-Philippe Bale, he made sure that he hit the whitewash. Well, you'd have to say that neither side has settled into anything that both coaches would say was average, less than that, I'm afraid. And I think there'll be plenty said by both Trent Robinson and Mick Potter at the half-time break. Maybe we've been a little bit too critical, Eddie, is the fact that, you know, let's find out how hot it is out there.
Oh, it's warm, there's no doubt about that. It really is.
You pushed him.
A bit of argy-bargy after the ball between Bale and Rayner. Martins has lost it now.
Great work by James Donaldson. They knew they had to get up quickly into the face of a giant like Seb Martins. He's up there. Is it Whitehead as well around the bottom? Pressure on him. Forced a turnover. And both teams here now trying to get excited in this last 5 minutes before half-time. Seeing if they can be the ones to make a difference of pushing and shoving at the play of the ball. But your focus needs to be on the next 5 minutes. And Patrick Arvan wants to get a quick play of the ball, wants to get his side going for it. It seems as though both teams are defending better than they're attacking.
Can the Bradford Bulls just puncture this Dragons defence once again? They did early on, courtesy of Ellimer. Here is Mark Herbert. And Carney has slipped the net, and he's got Ellimer again. That's a good tackle by Greenshields. He wants a quick play of the ball. Yeah. He gets a penalty instead.
He should get 10 minutes. That's a professional foul in my book. Done all the good work as Greenshields and then drags again. That really should have earned himself a sin bin. Very fortunate indeed. Looks like they're going for the 2 on offer.
Yes, they will.
Well, it was a successful policy for them last week, wasn't it? 4 second-half penalties against Leeds helped them to win. Patrick Arvan's kicking pretty well. He's in a position on the field where he thinks he can put it over from.
Yes, it was.
The referee seems to have stopped the clock.
Totally different conditions last Friday night at Headingley compared to this. It was like the middle of winter. Now we're really in the depths of summer. Well, it's lasted for 48 hours, I suppose, so we can't grumble.
And again, smart work by the referee, Phil Bentham. While Arvan is lining up the kick, he strolled over to the 2 players that had a little bit of argy-bargy before. Jean-Philippe Bale and, of course, the winger Gareth Rayner. That shows you the experience of this referee.
Arvan has kicked the goal. We're all square at Odsal as we approach half-time. It's exactly the score now as it was in Perpignan on Easter Monday, 8 apiece.
Rather more enjoyable weather, I might add, Eddie, on this occasion.
Absolutely. We got a glimpse of Mick Potter there. This is one of his former clubs. And it was such a success story for him in Perpignan. Wembley in 2007, third in Super League 2008. Oh, and that's well done in the end by Brett Carney.
Yeah, just lost it in the sun and had a stab a foot at it. Got there, very alert.
10 metres.
Put his body in the line. Always nice to see, isn't it?
Rayner tried to spin out of the tackles then, couldn't do it. There's the fullback, Brett Carney. 2-year deal, 1-year option as well on top of that this week. Forgot to say that earlier.
Go. Outside.
But with the kick, and that's safety first.
It's not a bad option, though, by the half-back Mark Herbert, mainly due to the fact that the Bulls have had very few opportunities in the first half to be camped down and apply the pressure. Maybe they could just force the error. That's what they'll be looking for now.
You make these amount of errors, Steve-O, against one of the top sides in Super League. That's sort of the difference we're seeing. You make this amount of errors against some of the sides that are running hot in Super League at the moment, and you'll have a score put on you by half-time. I'm sure that's the message going to be coming from both coaches. You can't afford to give this many errors, make this many errors, and hope to win a game. But I guess it helps if both are making errors.
Yes. Equally as bad or as good as each other, one way or the other. You can look at it two ways. That's great tackling, though, from Whitehead and Scruton. Oh, dear me. Well, Sebastian Martins has come on as a substitute, and here's another penalty, and they will take the two on offer, I'm sure. Yeah. He's made a plethora of errors, this fellow.
He has not given his all for his coach, Trent Robinson, and I think a few words may be spoken. And here comes a big fella, Patrick Arvan.
Well, he's on his way off the field, he's being withdrawn.
Which is no surprise. There he is, Trent Robinson. Can't afford to allow a cheap 2 points, because he knows how important it could be.
I'm surprised that they didn't ever go to score, though. It's 2 minutes to half-time, 6 players from that position back themselves and take a chance, because there's going to be some points. The Catalan Dragons are going to score, I would say, 2 tries in the second half. So the Bulls need to back themselves. They're going to have to get over the try line on a couple of occasions if they want to win.
Well, let's hope so, because neither side has looked impressive.
Stand still. Okay. Back up. No, 2 metres. Go, 2 metres.
Patrick Arvan then. Bang in front of the sticks. This should ensure that the Bulls turn round ahead at half-time. Yeah, he doesn't miss those. 10-8, the Bradford Bulls. They've lost 10 times so far this year. But that win against Leeds last week for Mick Potter, and let's remember he was the 2008 Coach of the Year when he guided the Dragons to their first ever appearance in the playoffs. That win against Leeds last week will have done the confidence of the coach and the Bradford players a power of good.
Yeah, it certainly would, and both Potter and, of course, Trent Robinson, the start of the season was not good. Slowly but surely they're going into the swing of things, but we can only ask for better, and I'm sure it will get better in the second stanza. Meanwhile, the final few seconds, Catalan, they've got to make sure their defence is solid.
Well, remember when last we saw them at Halifax for the Huddersfield game a few weeks ago? The second half was rip-roaring stuff. The first half maybe wasn't quite as dull as this, but it was terrific stuff in the second half. So I'm with Phil. Let's stick with this. You never know.
Yeah, it's going to be a great main course and dessert, I think. We'll enjoy the dessert at the end.
That's a 40-20 attempt. And did Greenshields fling that back with his feet in the air? He did.
That was sensational stuff. Even though there's only a couple of seconds going, that was tremendous. Good job that he had people there and he was alert to take it. That's a half-time.
It is Blanche's run. After that great work by Greenshields, who looks as though he might have picked up a bang on the elbow. in stopping that